Wishlist Member has these add-ons that I've talked about before that provided courses, badges, and points. And now they have quizzes to go along with those courses. So they just came out, at least for me, and I haven't taken a look at it yet, but that's what we're going to do together. So you can kind of tune in, watch me stumble through this, and we'll take a look at what quizzes look like in Wishlist add-on. Hi, my name is William Beam. I am a small business person just like you. And of course, I am also an affiliate for Wishlist Member, which means if you purchase using my link, I'll get a small commission. But in return, I will give you free access to my course. It's called Members Only, and it goes over everything inside of Wishlist Member and soon to be updated with quizzes. So if you decide that's right for you, let's take a look at this. I've got a few other videos on here, but I just want to let you know that if you do buy using my link, that you get a bonus course in return. All you have to do is send me your invoice number, and I'll have my email address down below in the description. And then once I verify that with Wishlist, the course is yours. All right, so let's go take a look at our dashboard. And you can see that we're on here on my demo site. Let's go to Setup. And we want to choose this option over here where it says Add-ons. And you can see now we have quizzes. So the first three that were introduced were badges, courses, and points. So let's toggle on quizzes. And then once we've done that, I'll just go back to my dashboard and you'll see that quizzes pops up immediately down here. So let's click on this. So you've got a few options over here. You can see quizzes, quiz results, and settings. Before I create a quiz, I'm going to go over here to settings. And you can see a few messages over here. Basically what this allows you to do is change these messages to use your own language. You can leave them as a default and then just save them over here if you've changed them. But if there's a missing quiz message, you can say that a quiz has been deactivated. Please notify the administrator. Or if you're the only person, like on my site, I may be the only one who's doing this, you can say, please notify William. And if you're not logged in, you'll get a message over here. And if you've already taken a quiz, there's a notice over here that you've taken it. You cannot take it again. And if you've already passed, you don't gain any access to any additional quizzes. Basically, just a few messages. So let's go over here to the top to quizzes. I'm excited. We want to see what happens. So let's go ahead and click on quiz. And the first thing we need to do is give it a name. So as usual, I just call it demo and apply that. So once that's done, we see we have questions, we have settings, we have actions. So we can add questions down here. Let's take a look at settings. How many questions do you want to display per page? And what is a passing score? And of course, down the button, what do you want to enter to say submit quiz? That could be fine. We also want to take a look at our actions because once someone takes a quiz, you may be able to add an action and say there's a trigger. When a user passes, do this. So let's say that. And then you might want to do something to add them to a level, remove them from a level, and redirect them or send an email notification. So perhaps you have Wishlist Member integrated with your email service, which it does. There's a lot of integration opportunities with Wishlist Member that we've discussed in some of our previous videos. So that's an opportunity for you to move someone around. Maybe they've passed a quiz and they get access to a higher level. And at the same time, you may want to remove them from the current level that they're on. And of course, if somebody fails, that's sad. You can still have the options to add or remove somebody. You can redirect them to a page and say, I'm sorry you failed, please try again. Or you can send them an email notification. So these actions are actually quite handy because as soon as somebody takes a quiz, they want some immediate feedback. And having these actions or triggers and results over here gives them that feedback that they're looking for. So they want to know what happens when I passed. And if they didn't pass, what happens? What can I do now? So we're not going to add anything right now. Let's go back to questions and click on add a question. So let's give it something amazing like question number 1. And now you can have your answers. So is there a single answer over here or are there going to be multiple answers? And because my mind is so sharp, I'm just going to put in answer number 1. And you've got an option over here where it says correct. And checking this box will set this as the correct answer to whatever your question is. Let's add another one. I'm going to call this wrong answer. because I'm curious to know what happens if you put in a wrong answer and we don't check this box. Now you notice that you can also just trash these questions and you can sort them. So in other words, you can change the order in which they go. We can add more questions. So let's add one more question. And I'm going to do the same thing over here as far as we're going to save this answer and make sure that's the correct one. And we're going to add a wrong. So now that we've done that, we've got a quiz with 2 questions and each one has 2 answers, one right, one wrong. And I'm not entirely certain that something bad is going to happen with the wrong answer, but maybe this is something that displays. I'm actually kind of curious to try this out. And this may be a multiple choice where you can put in a number of answers. We'll find out. So again, with our settings, how many questions do you want per page? What is the passing score? And submit. So let's go ahead and save and close. And let's take a look at our quiz results. So what do we want as far as, do we want to delete or export? And this, I believe, is what's going to happen. You're going to have multiple quizzes, and as people take the quiz, they're going to be able to see the results over here. And that way you get some updates and feedback on how people are doing with your quiz. Who's got the right answers, who's got the wrong answers, who passes, who fails. And you can see that, it sorts by the quiz name. You can have their username, their score. What is a passing score? Are they correct or incorrect? And the status is simply pass or fail, as you can see over here on this little tag. So the next thing we want to do is actually show these quizzes on a page and see how that works. We came back up here to quizzes. You can see demo quiz. And if you're wondering, how do I put this on a page? Notice there's a short code right over here. So we can take this short code. We're going to copy that. And there's a button over here if you don't want to manually copy it. Actually, I apologize. That looks like a copy icon, but it says duplicate quiz. We don't want to do that. So you can go ahead and edit the rules and you can duplicate it and you can trash it. So let's go ahead and create a page and put this on there. So I'm going to come over here to new and hit in new quiz. And we're going to call this quiz 1. And I'm going to put the short code in here. And let's publish that. So we're going to copy this. And let's go ahead and click on View Quiz. That should just show us over here. So here we go. We've got answer number 1, wrong answer number 1. And you can see your progress over here. So let's say for this first one, we want to say the right answer. On this one, we want to say the wrong answer. Basically, these are multiple choice quizzes. And we're going to submit our quiz. And I passed because I got 50% right. Basically, when we set our passing score, we set it to 1. I only had to get 1 of those questions right. And I did, 1 out of 2. So it wasn't a percentage thing. It was basically an opportunity to go back and say, what is the score that you need? And like I said, this is the first time I'm looking at it, so I wasn't quite sure what that was. I might do this as a quiz with multiple questions. Let's say there are 10 questions on the quiz, and I need at least 7 of them to have a passing score. Let's go back here to retake the quiz and see if we get our message. There it is. So if you retake the quiz, particularly after you've already passed, he says you've already taken this quiz. You can take it again. However, you've already passed, will not gain access to any additional content. In other words, if you take it again, it's because you just enjoy taking quizzes. You've already passed, and that's your notification. So let's go back to look at our quiz. So I'm going to click over here to edit the quiz. Since I'm logged in as administrator, I can do that. And actually, this is a chance where we can edit the quiz page itself. Let me come back over here to quizzes. There we go. We want to edit this demo quiz. So let's go over here. We can either click this pencil over here, and I believe we can probably click this. And there are the questions that we have. And if we click on our settings, you can see where it says passing score. Let's say that I change this to 7. And I'm going to save that. And let's come over here and we'll just make sure that we have 10 questions. So I'll speed this up in the video so you don't have to watch me type all this stuff in here. And then we'll go ahead and try taking the quiz again. Okay. You can see that I've answered question 3 through 10. And each of them do the same thing as I did with the previous one. I had an answer and a wrong answer. For the one that says answer, I've checked those as that is the correct answer. So you can see that this is going to be quizzes for multiple choice and only, I don't know if I should say only one. Perhaps you can have more than one correct answer. So that's a possibility that I think, actually, since the checkbox is here, I believe that's true. So if you check this, there may be more than one right answer, depending on how many answers you put in there. And sometimes the topic may be such that there's more than one way to correctly answer the question. So you can put in a variety of answers, mark which ones are correct, and then present that. So now that we have this done, everything's saved. Close this. And I want to take a look at our quiz results. You can see there's my name, there's my score, and there's the passing score. So I've passed on this. Let's see what happens. Can I delete my results? And the reason I'm doing that is so I can take this again while I'm still logged in. We'll find out. So let's go over here to quiz number 1. We will click on view. And here we are. So let's go back, and we need at least 7 of these in order to pass. So I'm going to do just kind of every other one. And if that works correctly, I should fail this. And let's submit the quiz. So there we go. We've seen our demo quiz. I got 5 out of 10. A passing score is 7. I failed. And I can click this to retake this quiz. But this is a quick look at how quizzes are working. They are multiple choice. You can have multiple correct answers or multiple incorrect answers. You can set the score, and each question that you have could be worth a single point, for example, and then you can say how many points or how many questions out of the quiz do you need to get correct in order for someone to pass. After that, then you have options of actions that you can take to say what happens if someone passes and what happens if someone fails. Do you change their membership levels? Do you send them to a paper post? Maybe there's a prize that they get for correctly answering a question. Do you send them to a page, or do you send them an email from whatever email you've integrated with your Wishlist member service? So this is what quizzes look like. I think it's a good start. Not everybody's going to need to take a quiz, but it's nice to know that the option is there for people that do need it. And if you're providing some kind of a certification, that's a good example. You can test people to see, did they retain the knowledge from the lessons you've provided? Another thing is, taking a quiz is a good booster for your students. It means that not only have they learned something from you, but they've proven that they can retain the knowledge that you have. And it just adds, I think, a little more confidence to them as they progress. Because the whole idea of taking a course and then the quiz afterward is to move them from where they were to where they want to be. Quizzes show progress. And if they're not making progress, then either you can help the student to gain that progress. Maybe you take them to a page that has some additional information to help them with the quiz. Or maybe you need to rework your course if people are not passing. Maybe you need to rework your quiz. But the whole idea of these quizzes is that it gives both you and your students an opportunity to see how they're doing and to adapt if they're not achieving success that you're expecting. Thank you so much for watching this and spending a little time. If you like this, please click the like button. That tells the YouTube overlords we're doing something right. I hope that you will subscribe and click the bell notification icon if you want to be notified. Remember, I have a course for anybody who purchases Wishlist Member using my affiliate link, which is in the description below. And if you just send me your invoice number after the purchase, I'll verify that with the folks at Wishlist Member, and we'll get you added. And then you'll have access to a course that not only goes over the products that are in Wishlist Member, but also the add-ons, and soon to include quizzes. Thank you so much. I'll see you again in the next video.